We live in remarkable times when it comes to science and medicine. Especially over the last 70 years, what humanity has achieved is nothing short of extraordinary. Where do we begin to list these accomplishments? From our revelations in biology to advances in computing, physics, astronomy, satellite navigation, space exploration, the internet, the quantum world, and more recently AI. The long list of our accomplishments is truly incredible. In medicine, developments have been just as astonishing. We can now diagnose disease non-invasively, treat cancers with targeted therapies, carry out keyhole surgery, replace failing organs, deal with infections that were once death sentences, keep critically ill patients alive with sophisticated life support, and measure physiological changes continuously in ways unimaginable just decades ago. By any historical standard, modern medicine is astonishingly powerful. And yet, something doesn't add up. Despite all of these advances, chronic diseases now dominate global health statistics. They affect more people, begin earlier in life, last longer, and often occur together. Disability has increased. Mental health disorders are widespread. Medication use has reached trillions of doses each year. And billions of years of healthy life are lost annually to illness. Many people now live longer, but spend more of those years unwell. At the end of this video, I will list 17 clear measures that show just how unwell we are today. So we face a paradox. Never before have we had such advanced medical capabilities, and never before have populations been so burdened by disease. In this series, we explore how chronic diseases today are linked to long-term damage to critical mechanisms such as DNA repair, immune surveillance, epigenetic systems, apoptosis, and many more, which are key to cell functions and activities. We also look at how we can support these mechanisms and in the process help to sustain our health. If we understand anything about how the world works, we know this did not happen by chance. Over recent decades, and especially over the last century, the way we live has changed profoundly. Our diets have shifted away from natural, whole, nutrient-rich foods towards ultra-processed types. Our exposure to environmental and dietary toxins has increased, not least artificial chemicals, many of which are intentionally designed to be biologically active or toxic and can affect the core activities of our cells. Physical activity has declined. However, we know today that exercise directly supports essential mechanisms in our cells, including the same mechanisms referred to earlier. Sleep, which is fundamental to repair and regulation, is increasingly eroded. This loss also disrupts the same important cellular activities. These four areas, diet, toxins, physical activity, and sleep are not just important individually. When they are all eroded at the same time, the threat is far greater than the sum of their separate effects. Stress has become chronic, shaping our physiology, our behaviour, and the choices we make every day. Together, these changes damage the body's critical mechanisms, the systems that maintain balance, repair damage, and protect health. And when those systems are damaged, their ability to take care of us is damaged too. At the same time, healthier choices have become harder, not easier. The modern food environment actively encourages poor decisions. Prevention receives very little investment compared to treatment, and health information is often framed as abstract risk rather than clear, concrete evidence, even though evidence is what humans understand best. Our relationship with nature has become increasingly exploitative rather than respectful. Importantly, we are not simply unlucky victims of disease. Much of modern illness reflects a long-term mismatch between how the body is designed to function and how we now live. When we look closely at the scientific evidence, a clear pattern emerges. The damage does not begin at the surface. It occurs at a deeper biological level. When poor diet, toxin exposure, especially artificial chemicals, physical inactivity, and poor sleep accumulate over time, they disrupt critical mechanisms inside our cells. These include systems that normally prevent oxidative stress, regulate inflammation, repair DNA, maintain protein structure, and preserve immune balance. The oxidative stress, inflammation, DNA damage, and protein dysfunction we often talk about are not primary causes. They are downstream consequences, signs that protective mechanisms have been weakened. Crucially, these systems are deeply interconnected. If a cell's ability to repair its DNA is damaged, it affects every part of that cell, not just one isolated function. Damage in one area places strain on others, creating cascading effects throughout tissues and organs. This is made far worse when multiple systems are impaired at the same time, pushing cellular resilience to its limits. This helps explain why chronic diseases so often cluster together, and why treating symptoms in isolation frequently falls short. But there is also a vital and genuinely hopeful insight here. While chronic diseases can often be difficult or impossible to reverse, damage to critical biological mechanisms can be improved and sometimes restored when harmful pressures are reduced and supportive conditions are re-established. Biology retains a capacity for repair. This is why there are such strong reasons to protect and support these fundamental systems throughout life. The series on this channel, for which this is the introduction, is built around simple and well understood principles. Many of the forces that damage health are daily, cumulative, and we can change them. We can mostly eat whole natural foods and reduce ultra-processed types. We can exercise, build our strength, and maintain mobility. We can prioritize sleep and align our habits with natural biological rhythms. We can reduce unnecessary toxic exposures. We can give our body time to repair through rest and recovery. None of these actions are extreme. None require drug interventions. But together they create the conditions in which our cells function properly again. This is not a promise of perfection, but it focuses on evidence-based steps that improve resilience, reduce risk, and support our health long term. Despite the scale of modern health challenges, there is a strong reason for hope. We understand human biology better than ever before. We can detect disease earlier. We know that lifestyle changes can dramatically reduce risk. We know the body is equipped with powerful repair systems that operate throughout our life. And we know that small, consistent changes can have large long-term effects. Health is not all or nothing. It is dynamic. Even later in life, improvement is often possible. Nature has endowed the body with resilience that modern science is only now fully appreciating. When we work with biology rather than against it, health can often be stabilized, improved, and in some cases, restored. Before the main series begins, each of the areas covered here will be explored individually. Then we look at the practical steps we can take, which are grounded in evidence from human studies that support and maintain the critical cellular mechanisms referred to earlier. These include DNA repair, autophagy, the immune system, apoptosis, protein folding, epigenetic regulation, and many others to help restore our health in everyday life.